So it's Saturday, December 31st, 2016, a year that a lot of people have considered to be one of the worst years in recorded history, and these same people seem to believe that tomorrow, January 1st, 2017, is somehow going to be different in some way. Unfortunately, that's not how things work. Years are just an abstract concept that we use to denote the passage of time and the rotation of the Earth around the Sun. So they're not like living beings. There's gonna be no difference. I'm sorry to say it, but that's just how things work. However, that being said, let's get into the video. Hey guys, Sean here. So I don't necessarily like making New Year's resolutions because I never keep them. I never have, and I probably never will. However, that being said, here are some things that I want to hopefully accomplish in 2017. Since I'm making videos now, I figure that if I put them out into the world, that maybe that will help me to actually accomplish these things. First and foremost, I want to get a handle on my finances. I have recently canceled a lot of monthly subscriptions that I was signed up to, be it monthly tchotchke boxes that you would get, you know, the various boxes of that like, or Twitch subscriptions for various people, or on Patreon. I actually canceled a lot of the people I was patroning on Patreon. I will, however, if I get enough patrons, re-subscribe to people on Patreon, because I feel that if you get enough patrons and you're actually, you know, getting some money from Patreon, that you should in turn throw some of that back into Patreon to other people, because it's good karma that way. But as it was standing, I actually haven't made any money from Patreon, even though I've had the one patron for like 4 months now, because if you are subscribed to people on Patreon, like if you are other people's patrons, they'll just take the money that you get from your patrons and put it towards that. So I haven't actually gotten any money from Patreon yet. But once I reach a certain level on Patreon, I will do like a percentage that goes to other Patreon people, because I feel that that is important to do. I am also going to limit the number of things I collect. I have a lot of collections that are growing, and I live in a small apartment, so it's starting to take over my entire apartment, and it's not good. So from comics to figures to games, there's a lot of things that, like, once I start on it, I have to get all of it, and that is something that I am going to greatly limit in 2017. I'm going to start with comics and try and get less series each month, because currently I think I get like every issue of like 15 different series right now, and that's too much, because I don't even have time to read all of them. So I want to try and get that cut down to like maybe 5 or 8 or 10 at the most. In the near future, I'll do a video about figures or comics that I am collecting, and you'll see what it is that I'm talking about and where I could really cut it back. But as I was saying, it takes up a lot of room in my apartment, and that is another thing that I want to take care of in 2017, which is completely reorganize my apartment. During my vacation a few weeks ago, I did pretty well at that. I got rid of a lot of stuff, but there's still a lot more that I need to do. And then hopefully by shrinking down all the stuff that I have, and then also getting my finances under control, I will be able to accomplish the third thing that I want to accomplish in 2017, which is move out of this apartment. As you have seen in the past, there's just too much going on around here in order to get really good videos shot. From the noises upstairs, or the noises outside, or the limited space that I have to film in, it's just really not good for doing this, so I want to get a better apartment for this. Unfortunately, I currently live in a rent-controlled apartment, and the price has not gone up in 5 years, and it's really difficult to justify moving somewhere else that will be maybe less space for like $300 more. And so that's another thing I have to work on, is figuring out ways to justify that. I really do not like the neighborhood I live in. I don't feel I can walk around at night and Sometimes barely during the day do I feel like I can walk around. This doesn't really feel like home per se, it's just where all my stuff is kept and my cat lives. I never have friends over because I feel embarrassed by the neighborhood that I live in and by the apartment I live in. Which leads to the fourth thing I want to improve in 2017. That being my cat, Buddy Holly. The last 2 times we've gone to the vet, he's been very, what's the word? Enthusiastic. He actually now has a caution sticker on his file and a will bite sticker on his file because he doesn't really interact with humans other than me at all. And that is part of the reason why I need to start having more people over, or just people at all. He goes 364 days without seeing another human, and then the one time that he does, that's so that they can put shots in him and examine him, and it's probably not good for his disposition. I am a strong believer that the personalities of cats can be greatly affected by their guardians, or, the people who own them. And that is because of the show My Cat from Hell. I've watched it a few times, and, the way that Jackson Galaxy, the guy in My Cat from Hell, can, go into any situation and completely change the way a cat behaves just by, fixing the people who are in charge of the cat is amazing. And I know it's, reality television and all that, but I believe that that show is actually real television. And so that is something else I need to work on in 2017 is, while we're here, making this a better place for him, because he's here more than I am. And the fifth thing I would like to accomplish in 2017 is improving this channel. I would like to hopefully get to at least 100 subscribers by 2018. I'm sure there's plenty of things I could do to actually accomplish that, but I just need to figure out what they are and actually do them. I will, of course, be going to VidCon again this year, and I will actually be going to Disney Day, the Sunday after VidCon, because I will have the Disney Pass, of course, this year. But it's time to improve this and make it bigger and better, so we'll see how that goes. I'm sure the number one thing I could do is, somehow advertise that I'm making these channels other than posting it on Twitter and posting it on my Facebook page. Another thing I want to get in control this year is this right here. Not Optimus Prime. What's under Optimus Prime. You see, before I got Buddy, I was on a relatively good diet and exercise program where I would have a Atkins meal bar every day for lunch, and then that was it, and I would eat pretty sparingly throughout the day, and since I had a Nike Fuel Band at that time, I would try and get the number of fuel points that I needed to get every day, which I think was 10,000. And I would, if I didn't have that much by the end of work, I would then go somewhere and walk around. That's actually when I originally had the pass for Disneyland, that's what I would do. I would go to Disneyland and walk around until I reached my goal. And I ended up losing like 40 pounds doing that. But since I got Buddy and I couldn't go out after work anymore, and I started eating badly shortly after that, and it's just snowballed since then, and I've actually gained all that weight back. So I want to lose all that weight again, and hopefully more. I have my annual checkup on Tuesday, and I'm sure this will come up because it has come up every year since I originally lost all the weight, and then I've gained it back. And when this time he says, "Do you want any assistance with this?" I will be, "Yes, I need assistance with this." I have very low willpower when it comes to sweets. And in the last 4 months at work, we've actually gotten a, sweets table that's just full of snacks, and it's very hard for me to avoid going to it all the time, every day. Really, when it comes down to it, the only thing I have willpower against is drugs and alcohol. Everything else, it's just game on. But yeah, I need to do a lot more exercising. The sad thing is, in the room right over there, I have a treadmill, but I don't use it because I'm an idiot. Part of it is because it makes a lot of noise, and when I get home, it's, kind of late at night, and I don't want to disturb anyone. And it's like, why do I care if I disturb these people? They don't care if they disturb me, so why do I think that way? Why do I even care about disturbing them? I think it's just an excuse so I don't have to use it, but I've told you now that I have it, so now I have to use it. That's how it works, right? And the last thing I want to accomplish in 2017 is being close enough to the first nuclear missile that hits the United States during the nuclear war, so that I get radiated instantly from the blast and I don't have to, slowly deteriorate over 6 months, and I don't have to see the rest of the world burn. But since I live within a few miles of the port of Los Angeles, I have a pretty strong shot at that happening. So yeah, there you have it. Don't really call them resolutions, because when you call things resolutions, you never do them. They're just things that I want to accomplish in 2017. I should actually write them on a board somewhere, now that I think about it, and hang it up somewhere. So I'm going to do that. Oh, the last thing I want to do in 2017 is get better at the call to action. If you don't know what the call to action is, that's at the end of YouTube videos when they're like, hey, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and all that stuff. I always forget to do that, so I need to start doing that more. But I digress. Is there anything that you want to accomplish in 2017 other than dying in the nuclear holocaust, of course? Feel free to leave that down in the comments. I generally do reply to people in the comments because, it's not a lot of people, so it's very easy for me to reply to them. Once we get to like 100,000 in 7 years, that will be a lot harder to do, but now it's easy. Feel free. Go to town. I feel like I'm forgetting something. It's the end of the video. There's something I need to do. I may have just mentioned it like 30 seconds ago. Alright, call to action. While you're down in the comments, feel free to hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see if I actually do accomplish these accomplishments in 2017. You can also wait till the end of the video. There's a subscribe button there, and you can click on the previous video to see last week's video. Plus, you will also see a link to my Patreon. And so, with that, have a Happy New Year, and a good however long it is until you watch my next video.